Hola, ¿qué tal a todos, a Fanatics, a todos nuestros hermanos Dolphins? El día de hoy estoy emocionadísima, no les puedo ni siquiera explicar cómo me siento, estoy súper feliz, súper contenta, porque tenemos un invitado que es, bueno, fue, será, yo creo, por siempre nuestro héroe, Salvador, ¿no? De los Miami Dolphins, es una persona extraordinaria que no solamente tiene una gran capacidad atlética, sino tiene una gran personalidad, es una persona sumamente inteligente, ha hecho muchas cosas y hace ahorita muchas cosas por los jóvenes, luego vamos a platicar de eso. Para los que se están apenas conectando aquí, llegando con nosotros, esta persona con la que vamos a platicar el día de hoy es simplemente nuestro héroe de 2007. Yo creo que ya con eso muchos saben de lo que estoy hablando. Él fue tomado como agente libre por los San Diego Chargers, luego jugó con los Vikings y luego jugó 3 temporadas con nosotros, 2007, 2008, 2009. Y aunque 2007 fue una temporada algo triste para nosotros, él fue el salvador de esa temporada. Él tiene pues ascendencia mexicana también, lo cual me da muchísimo gusto y mucho orgullo. Y yo creo que ahorita nos va a platicar un poquito más de eso. Muchas gracias ya a los que se están conectando. Se los presento entonces con todo el corazón y con todo el gusto a Greg Camarillo. Hi, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
No, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic to have you here. And also, I am very, very honored that you had the time to be with us today here in Somos Dolphins. You know that all the Dolphins love you and remember you with love because somehow you were and still are our hero, right? And maybe you get that a lot, right?
Well, I get a lot of appreciation from Dolphin fans, and it's fun because I haven't played football in 8 years, so it's fun to just be connected with the team, be connected with the
Yes.
memory, and then it's only the real fans were with us in 2007, so it's fun to connect with the real fans.
Exactly. Yeah, only the real fans. And let me tell you that, well, you know that already, that Miami Dolphins fans are like the most loyal fans ever
Mhm.
because we have been through ups and downs, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more downs than ups. Our glorious days were back in the 70s, 80s, kind of the 90s, like, right? Maybe half of decade. But we will always remember what you did for us. And what it caught my attention a lot, Greg, was that when I saw your profile, your Twitter profile, which actually is right here on screen, you can see it. You can follow Greg. Please, everybody follow him because he's a great person, not only an athlete, but a great person. Your picture, I mean, in there, you're wearing the Miami Dolphins uniform.
Yeah.
So to me, well, that says to me that you have a special, maybe a special sentiment for the Miami Dolphins. Am I right?
Absolutely. No? I mean, it was the team that gave me the biggest opportunity. I had my best years playing football with the Dolphins. It's definitely the team that's closest to my heart.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I'm talking as if I were part of the team, but I feel like I'm part of the team. We are so welcoming, right? Like heartwarming. So, well, I wanted to make that clear because I was so happy to see that picture in there and to see how connected you are to the team. And trust me that we are more than connected to you and we are more than thankful for that. So, as I was saying to everybody, we know that you have Mexican roots.
I do.
You just told me that your father and your grandfather are from Michoacan, right?
Yep.
And your mom comes from Hungary.
Correct.
So how was it for you, Greg, to grow up with this great, amazing heritage?
It was good. I mean, I got a mix of two cultures. So both my parents are from LA, but my grandparents from my dad's side are from Michoacan, and my mom's parents originate from Hungary. So I got two very different cultures: the Catholic Mexican family and then a Hungarian Jewish family, and got to experience both sides of it. So we would celebrate Christmas, we would celebrate Hanukkah, we would eat tacos, we would eat matzo balls.
Of course.
It was a lot of fun and a very rich experience to just be raised in two different cultures and get to experience both.
Yeah, of course. And you can't deny, Greg, that tacos are way better, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are. And also, I think that that mixture, that culture mingle was what made you this great person you are, because I don't know if everybody in here knows, everybody must know that you are an extremely intellectual man, right?
Okay.
Very intelligent. I mean, not only a football player, you're not only a football player or former football player, but you are intellectual. You have a career as an engineer, right?
I studied engineering, in college.
And Stanford, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How was that? I would like you to explain to me, because you had the choice, right, between Harvard and Stanford. I mean, not anybody, not everybody. I mean, who has that opportunity? Who has that choice?
I was really fortunate to have that choice, and it's actually funny. The decision didn't come down to anything really about the actual school. So when I was a senior in high school, I took a trip to Boston to go see Harvard. And I was going to end my trip in Miami, actually. And so I from California, I'm not used to cold weather. I just packed a sweatshirt, went to Boston in April. It was freezing, and the football team practiced at 6 in the morning outside in the freezing weather. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't. A California guy.
This isn't for me.
I couldn't do it. So that was an easy decision. I couldn't go play football in the cold. So fortunately, I had a great opportunity to play at Stanford, and it just fit me really well, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I know. And right now, it came to me also because I'm sorry. Everybody who knows me, Greg, knows that I'm a very talkative. I'm sorry. I hope you are very talkative as well, and you work with students, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you know how this is. You are kind of a teacher. Let's say you're a counselor.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So we like to talk a lot.
Correct.
So that's correct. So you chose to play there or to study at Stanford, and you have your career as an engineer, and then you decide that you want to play on the league. How was that? I mean, did you always know as a child that you wanted to play football? What was like on the scale?
Yeah, I had no idea that I would play in the NFL. It wasn't even really a goal of mine. I was a good high school player, but I was not like the best. And so I was a walk-on at Stanford. I didn't have a scholarship. And then in college, I was a good receiver, but I was not really good. You know, no one was going to draft me. I was just really hoping that I got a shot. And through a connection, I got a chance to try out with the San Diego Chargers. And I went to a great situation, a great opportunity. And then I got a chance to show that I could play football, that I could catch some footballs. And then I spent 2 years in San Diego, and I learned a lot from the coaches. I learned a lot from the other receivers there. And that made me a better receiver. So when it was time to go to Miami, I had 2 years of improving, and then I got a great shot in Miami to actually get on the field.
Of course, because actually you started as a punter, right?
I went to college as a punter. Yeah.
Were you good at it?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yes.
I mean, I could kick a ball real far. It wasn't the greatest, but I could do a pretty good job.
Okay, and I'm sure that you do a pretty good job when you play with your kids. Do you play football with your kids?
Absolutely. I've got 3 little girls, and we go in the backyard and play flag football, and they love it. And it's fun.
Nice.
Yep.
And well, this is like off the record, but who do you cheer for right now? Do you root for us?
Of course, I cheer for the Dolphins. But to be honest with you, I live in California. It's hard to watch all the games. I don't have
I
many
know.
Dolphin fans around me. In San Diego, we lost our team. It's just sad. Makes me cry
Exactly.
thinking about it. So I'm really, yes, I follow the Dolphins, but I don't really have a team where it's just like I'm 100% all in, and when they lose, like I'm on the couch sad. So I just kind of
Yeah,
watch.
of course, because
Yeah,
it was home to you,
it was.
and it will always be. Trust me, always
Yeah.
be. And the most important part in our hearts, the fans' hearts, you will always be there. I mean, this is home, really. Okay,
Yeah.
so I love this. I love this, Greg. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so talkative as I am and for accepting me. I talk a lot. Well, so I have a few questions, right? There are, of course, Dolphins related, football related, but I wanted to talk first about who you are and what you do now,
Okay.
right? Because uh, it called my attention a lot. It was like shocking because I know that you and I, well, you are a famous person. I'm not, right? But you as an engineer at the beginning, I went to law school at the beginning, and then years after that, I switched and I became a teacher because
Right.
of because I wanted to give advice to other students, right? And
Yeah.
I guess that's what you do right now. So you, after you had your years on the NFL, at the NFL, sorry, you came back to San Diego, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you began your master's degree in leadership and education, I guess,
Yeah. Educational leadership.
right?
Yeah.
So how was that, Greg? Why did you do that? What made you made a decision? What
Yeah.
changed?
A couple reasons. One is when every year that I was playing in the NFL, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next because I was never like a big contract guy. So I always knew that next year might be my last year. So um,
Exactly.
I always had good relationships with my advisors. I always liked being on the college campus. My whole family works in education, and I had this idea that I was going to go work with student athletes, but I had no background in it. So I went to graduate school to learn more about it, to make sure that was the career I wanted, but also because it was a 2-year program. And so I didn't go from full-time football player to full-time
Yes.
employee. I still had 2 years where I was in school. I just had my first daughter. Like, it gave me a time to kind of breathe, to make sure that I was
Of
ready for the
course.
next step, to be around my family, to be with my wife, to be with my daughter. And it was just a good transition.
Yeah, and I think that somehow, I mean, as a football player, of course, you get to many people, right? But what you do now, to me, I mean, to me as a teacher and a fan and everything, I think that you do a lot more now from your spot, from where you are, from your position. Talking to students that are in the same position you were before, right?
Yeah. And that's where a lot of the connection comes from. If I tell a student, you need to focus on school and sports,
Exactly.
and they know that I've done that. It wasn't
Exactly.
easy to major in engineering and play football. So I've got, I've done it. I've experienced it. It gives me help understanding what my students are going through. If they're stressed out, I get it. I was that student 15 years ago. That was
Like
just as
not
stressed out.
not that long ago, Greg.
Yeah,
Not that long ago. Just a
yeah.
few
So
years. I
it's
mean, we're
and it's the
young,
fun
right?
world. What'd you say?
We're young. We're
Oh
young,
yeah, super young.
Greg. Yes, of
So yeah, I
course.
mean, I know school, I know sports, and so it just works out well.
Excellent, and I love that part of you. Now, okay, let's get to business because right here now we, as you can see the comments, right? We have some questions. I want to left for the end that beautiful 64-yard catch
All
for the
right,
end. Okay, to like to close strongly.
all right.
So we have a few questions in here. What is your opinion, or team is asking about Tua? What do you think of him?
I think he's great. I don't break down like quarterback play, so I can't tell you he's got great form or he's got great vision. But what I do look at is how do you perform in high pressure situations? Because as an NFL quarterback, you are the face of the entire team. Everyone has been waiting for Tua. All lights are on you. You are the spotlight.
Exactly.
And from what I know from him, when he first showed up in the college world, he was put into a game at the end of a national championship game with all the pressure in the world and came out and handled business and threw amazing throws and made great plays to win a championship. So if he can handle that situation, that tells me he has the personality to be the face of a franchise. And then, I mean, clearly he's athletic. We've all seen that. So I think it's a great move.
Of course.
Everyone, all of his coaches speak highly about him. I think it's a great move to pick someone that can be the leader of your team going forward.
Yeah, right. And with all this reconstruction that we have gone through, and our coach Flores now, which I think he's great. I don't know what you think of him, but I think that we have made a big change, and we are a totally new team. And I think that we can actually make it. Maybe I'm being very positive, I know, but I think that we could end maybe 8-8, maybe make it to the playoffs. Who knows? I mean, you know that the NFL is totally unpredictable, right? Yeah. You never know what is going to happen. And I'm going to take your case. You never know what is going to happen, right?
That's true.
I mean, amazing things can happen in a second.
Yeah.
So
we just got to hope there is an NFL season so we can get to watch it.
And also, I wanted to ask you. Well, I read your, in my own words, in MiamiDolphins.com, right? Maybe all the Dolphins in here know that there's a section in which the players or former players explain or tell an event, retell an event in their own words. And I was amazed to read that you said something like you felt insignificant, an insignificant receiver.
Yeah.
Did you really? Why, Greg? No.
Because, I mean, coming into that game against Baltimore in 2007, I had one catch for 2 yards, and that is this big. Like that, my entire career was right here in front of my face. And so I was an insignificant receiver. No one had a scouting report on me. No one was worried about me catching the ball, which actually worked out to my advantage because nobody knows the routes that I'm best at, or nobody knew what kind of receiver I was. But prior to that game, no one had ever heard of me, and that's just matter of fact. Like, I'm not trying to be down on myself, but when you have one catch for 2 yards, people don't pay attention to you, and that's just how it works.
Well, yeah, we cannot be perfect always, all the time at everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you succeeded both academically and athletically, to me, because that was like a milestone for us and for you. And how did you feel after that catch? Did you feel insignificant?
Oh no, that totally changed all of it. I felt like a football celebrity all of a sudden because
of course
all the cameras are in my face. Everybody's wanting to do an interview, and it was a lot of fun. I've never won a major championship. That's the closest I've come to having like just a big moment of celebration.
Yes.
And so it was fun. We as a team had worked so hard that year and just kept losing and losing and losing. It was fun.
Yeah, it was frustrating, right?
It was super frustrating. And so to just celebrate with your teammates and have fun and be able to just let loose and cheer and laugh and play, that's what we were waiting for, and it was fun to be part of that.
Yeah, and when I watched the video, Greg, I mean, it was like if we had won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what
really
it felt like.
Did you feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was, the stands were half empty, but like I said before, only the real Dolphin fans were still around. Because if your team has lost 13 games, you don't, and you're not a real fan, then you're not watching anymore. So the real fans were still there with us, and had so many ups and downs and close games that season. But to finally get a victory, it was like we had won something major, when really it was one game, but it really felt like we had won something.
But it was amazing. It was amazing. It's like I always say, because, the Pats were like the kings of the world for 20 years in our division. And every time they say, yeah, but you only win, you only beat us one time or once a year. Yeah, but that's enough. And to me, that's like a Super Bowl. I don't care, right? Yeah. It's something similar. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we have another question here from Cesar. He's also part of our team. Yeah. And he's asking if you have some interesting experience with our beloved Don Shula.
No, I don't have any
Not really
experiences. No, I went to his steakhouse, had some good food at his steakhouse. But he would come around. It's just, he was like a living hero.
Yeah,
now
of course.
That he passed away, is not, he's still a hero in the Dolphins world. But when I was in Miami, if he was at an event, it was like, oh my God, Coach Shula is there. So
yeah.
It's just fun. It was fun to see, the fans and how much they loved this man for everything he did for the Dolphins.
Exactly. Yeah, as you said, I think that even though he's gone, we will always celebrate his life, right? And everything mm-hmm. that he did for us. And I think that we are who we are, and because we are legends. I mean, right now, maybe we may not be in our best moment, but we are historically a legend.
Yeah.
Like legendary. And that was because of him and because of you. Thank you. Again. Don't ever forget that, okay? Because I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
Also, well, now, when you were playing back there, you weren't a starter in 2007, but you were a starter in 2008 and 2009,
mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Correct.
Who did you feel the most comfortable with from your teammates? Like a bond.
Yeah, I mean, we had some good relationships on that team, on those teams. With my receivers, the guys that were there, Ted Ginn and Devon Bess, close friends with them. Running back Patrick Cobbs. There were just a lot of good guys on that team. And we had a really close receiver group too, which makes things a lot more fun. But
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then
that's amazing because you work together. Mm-hmm.
Work together and compete for time,
Yeah.
And then the quarterback Chad Pennington was like one of the best guys. It was a good group of guys to be around.
Yeah, and you actually catched a pass from him too, right?
Yeah. Chad Pennington was the starter for 2008 and a little bit of 2009, yes. and then Chad Henne as well. But Chad Pennington, I would not have been a great receiver or a good receiver without him. He helped me so much as a receiver to have this, an older quarterback that was great at communicating, was great at teaching you exactly what he wanted. That made me a much better receiver because I had a quarterback like that.
Interesting, because there has to be this connection between a quarterback and a receiver.
Yeah.
And it was great that you had this connection with him, and you actually felt better and became better because of him. That's
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And also, in here, people, please come back with us. Would you ever, Greg?
My old body, I would give you about one play, and then I would fall apart. But I'm back as a fan, that's for sure.
Okay, but really, I want to see you like rooting every time and wearing your jerseys.
I've been waiting to get to Miami for a game, and I always say that this is my year. I'm going to do it, but this clearly is not the year.
See what happened exactly. Yeah, and how do you see that? Because it is important. To have an opinion from someone who is not only a player as you or a sportsman, but also, as I told you, a very intelligent man, and being there also around the school environment. How do you see it? I honestly think that we may not see a season this time. What do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm aligned with the way you're thinking. you've got in training camp, you've got 90 players, you've got probably 20, 30 staff coaches, and then, another 20, 30, 40 staff members that have to be around. So we're looking at 150 to 200 people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have to be virus free for the entire season. And I don't see that happening. But I am hoping that they can come up with some protocol to test players daily and try to have a season. I don't think that it's going to be a full season. But if we could,
me neither.
Maybe start it later and have a shorter season, or start it, see what happens, take a break if they have to. I just want to see some football. But the way things are going in the United States right now is it's not looking good for football.
Trust me that we here in Mexico are also going mad. I mean, we cannot stand any more week without football. We feel you totally. But I mean, as you have seen, all the NFLPA, all the players are concerned, and you as a teacher, I imagine that when this began, the school was closed. Of course, you're right.
I haven't been to work since March. Yeah.
It is something very, very similar, because you work with a lot of people, and you cannot risk them or risk yourself, right?
Yep.
To be sick.
Yep. And you on Twitter, several players came out, and one of them, Russell Wilson, who's one of the best players, but also the most visible players, saying we need a protocol to test players. I have a pregnant wife at home. I can't risk that. And so you think about players like that it's not a matter of, I'm going to go play. If I get sick, I'll sit out 2 weeks and keep playing. But if I get sick, then my wife gets sick, then her kid, our child gets sick. And it's bigger than just, can we keep players healthy, but it's, can you keep everyone safe?
Exactly. And I think that is going to be very, very difficult. I mean, in NBA, there are much less players, and they were in this bubble. And nonetheless, they had contagion there. I mean, how are we going to handle 3,000 players in here? It's impossible, right?
No, it's not. It's
I
not.
mean, how are you going to do? I mean,
and then if say Tom Brady gets sick, what happens to the season, or what happens to the team? There's just too many pieces to the puzzle to figure out, and I really want to believe that they can figure out a way to play football, but
that's what we want to believe.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, you know what? I was reading the other day the protocols for the training camps, and yes, they are very detailed and whatever. Yes, they are, but players have a contact with people every day outside the facilities. So there is no way you can control that.
No.
Right?
You can't.
I mean, and as I told you, I'm thinking as a fan, and I'm thinking as a teacher. I'm sorry, but I know that you too, right? And as a parent.
Yeah, we're thinking the same way.
We're in the same page, Greg. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, I don't want to lose any other question that I have in here. Very important. Oh, yeah. So we had this crazy season in 2007, which you saved us from. And then the next year in 2008, there was a huge turnaround, right?
Correct.
We were 11-5, I guess.
It's the biggest turnaround in NFL history.
Yeah, the biggest, exactly. Yeah. So what do you think that was the main factor that made this change? What do you think? What did you feel? What changed?
Yeah, everything changed. So all of our coaches changed. The management changed, and Bill Parcells came in, and one of the first things he did in our first meeting, he took this big binder, slammed it on the desk, and said, "This is the injury report from last year. Too many people have been hurt. You cannot win if you have a binder this big of injuries." So the message was, you're either going to be healthy or you're going to be gone. And so that eliminated a lot of guys from complaining about injuries. You played through injuries. It was a mindset that you're not going to be hurt, because otherwise you're not going to have a job. So that was step one. And then 2, we worked hard. So Coach Sperano drilled us every day. Every day was hard work. Every day was competition. Every day we were getting yelled at. And it was stressful, but it developed a mindset of we worked so hard, no one's going to outwork us. We're a good football team.
Exactly.
And then we had more talent too. So we had, Chad Pennington came in training camp.
More talent and also, Greg, I think that experience, right?
And experience too. But so when you go through an off season of working hard together, you come together as a team.
Of course.
And then, to have leaders and captains step up. But we were a closer team. We were a healthier team. We had a more talent. And that mindset, it's really that mindset that no matter what's in front of us, we can still find a way to win. When the year before it was, we're doing well, but we're going to find a way to lose this. That little bit of mindset makes it.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, we're going to find a way to screw this up, right?
Yeah.
That was the year before.
Yep. And so that mindset, and then, it was a much more fun year. Just a better team, a much better team.
Of course. Yeah. And, I think that all changes are for good, right? The change that we have had from going from Adam Gase to Coach Flores right now, and all the players that we change. And also because I heard many comments about, but this player was great. Why did you let him go? And this was even better. Why? But as you said, it's a mindset. It doesn't matter how good you are, how great athlete you are. If you don't have like the feeling of being here, if you are not here present and want to be here, then you're not going to do anything good for the team.
Yep. Everybody has to be pushing towards the same goal.
Exactly.
And no matter how good you are, if you're not pushing towards that same goal, you're a problem. And what I've seen from Coach Flo, two things that I find most impressive. One, every coach and every player that he's ever worked with, particularly in New England, speak very well about him. So you can tell when a player is being honest about a coach. If they say they love him, there's a good chance they love him. But if you say, oh, he's a nice guy, oh, he's good at football, like things that don't really add up. His former players, his former coaches absolutely love him. And then last year, the Dolphins started the season getting blown out. They were losing by 30, 40.
Yeah, don't remind me of that. I know.
It was bad. But for him to keep the team together, because that breaks teams. When you lose by 40 points, it's no longer how can I help the team, but let me try to get 10 catches because we're going to lose anyway. He kept the team together, and then they started winning with less talent. That is impressive, and that tells me that everybody is on board with Coach Flo, and I'm excited to see what he can do next year.
Yeah, you know what? As we saw it as fans, or me, I think that many of my fellow Dolphins are going to agree with me. He brought everybody together, and like you know what I'm here, you can go.
Yeah.
Right? Because more people want to be here. And we're going to be team players. And also I love the fact that Fitzmagic, I mean, being the oldest or the old guy from the team, because we are young, Greg, okay, right? So he's young too. He's young too. I mean, the team is very, very, very young. But I saw in him like this commitment and this leadership that I didn't see before. I mean, he showed the team, he showed the guys, and he showed the coach, right? That we could do it if we had that mindset you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it. And then he left his soul on the field. We saw it. I mean, the man was the rushing yard leader.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, for a quarterback.
And the same thing I said about Coach Flo applies to Fitzmagic. He's been on several different teams, and the players at each team love him. And that's what you need, a quarterback that people like, because it's contagious. If I like you, I'm going to work harder for you, and the guys love
Of course. Of course. And even though we know that football is not a sport of one single man, we know that, of course. But somehow the quarterback is the face of the team. I mean, he draws you, he leads you somehow. And if you see something good in him, well, you're going to follow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's
Okay.
So that's the leader.
Greg, I don't know if you have a little bit more time, or how do you feel? I mean, I'm having this amazing.
You can hear the kids freaking out over there, but I got to wrap up shortly.
Okay, so maybe 5 minutes less.
3 minutes would be great.
Okay, well, so I just want to seize these minutes to thank you again for having, well, because you accepted to be here with us on Somos Dolphins. I don't know how to explain this to you. After almost 13 years, you are still our hero, and you will always be. I love your mindset, how you see life. I love that you have your family, and that you chose your family, and you chose education, and you chose to help other students that have this same dilemma as you did back then. And that is something that makes you a great person, a great human being. Like, really. I do my homework, right? I studied you a little bit more. I dig a big deeper. I dug a big deeper, and I want to recognize the work that you do there in San Diego. For the ones that came a little bit late, let me tell you again that Greg is now a counselor. Yes, right? Yep. I lose the title. Yeah, I have it right here. You are the coordinator.
Yeah.
The coordinator of Scholar Athlete Development.
Correct.
Right, at San Diego.
That's it.
So Greg helps students who are great, amazing, who excel at academics, but also at sports. Right?
Correct.
So he's kind of a teacher, but better and cooler, because he also was a football player, right? And because he's very young too.
Yeah.
And well, I want to thank you. Really, we are very excited. I hope that we can maybe have another time with you later. As I told you, you are very welcome here in Chihuahua, so you can meet the places that I told you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Copper Canyon is great. Chepe is great. You're going to love it. You're going to have a thrill. So you can come in here with all your family and have a great time together. Awesome. So I don't know, Greg, if you would like to give us maybe a message for fans, a message for whoever still loves you. I include myself. Yeah, go ahead.
I just appreciate all the support. It's fun to still be connected with fans, particularly Dolphin fans, and then to know that there's fans in Mexico, that I can connect with, that we can talk about football with. It means a lot to me, and it's just I enjoy it. I feel like part of a community, the Mexican football community, watching the Dolphins together. I love it.
Of course, and trust me, we are a lot, Greg. You have no idea. A lot of Dolphins in here, and the community is still growing. At the beginning, I felt, or everybody felt, like we were the only ones, but no. There are thousands and thousands of us in here rooting for the Miami Dolphins and admiring you and admiring everything you have done. And personally, I admire what you do now.
Well, really. Thank you. And then thank you for reaching out to do this interview.
Yeah, I hope you felt comfortable. Did you enjoy it? Am I too talkative?
No, all good. That's your job. Your job is to be talkative, so it works out well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So I remind people, guys, these are Greg's social media. He's on Twitter as Catch Camarillo. Okay, so follow him right now, because he has so many great things to share with us, so many great things to say. I remind you also the social media of Somos Dolphins, in which we are right now. Somos Dolphins in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. My own social media, Greg, follow me instantly in all social media, please. You already do on Twitter, but interesting things on Instagram and on Facebook too. And well, Greg, I don't know if you would like, is it too much to ask maybe that you could say to us something in Spanish? Maybe just a little short sentence?
Sure.
Whatever you want.
Sí, muchas gracias para mirar la entrevista y vamos los delfines.
Exactly. Fins up, right? Fins for life.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you so much for this effort. For the ones that you didn't know, I'm going to start teaching Greg Spanish shortly. Right, Greg? Say yes, please. Say yes.
Yep.
Yes, of course. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So thank you everybody so much. We had a great time today, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.